Hey guys, and welcome back. It's Grant Broggi from Strength Co, and it's time to go train. Like and subscribe to the channel. All right, and welcome back to the Strength Co YouTube channel. I know. We've been putting out content. We've been taking clips from the OK podcast. If you're not watching the OK podcast, go give that a look. We've been filming our seminars and our training camps, but I get questions on X, get questions on Instagram that said, hey, what happened to Grant firing up the camera and giving me some little rants and some lifting tidbits? Well, I hate to break it to you, but we got this thing called the United States military, and sometimes they need people. And last year, I was activated and deployed, and I went to Japan and then got on a boat and floated around, did a bunch of training while on ship, did a bunch of training while getting ready for the deployment. I'll tell you all about it. But we're back. We're back like we've never been back. We got videos coming again 2 times a week, all the lifting tips, starting strength tips you could possibly want. But I figured as a welcome back to the viewers, we'll kick it off with a little lifting vlog. I don't think I've done a lifting vlog since like the week my daughter was born. She's 18 months old now. So do some lifting. I'm gonna talk about my training. Hopefully you enjoy. Welcome with that. Let me get some music going, and I'll get to training and talk to you in between sets. How about that? Okay, so that's my little warm-up routine. Talked about it before in videos. If you need to be efficient in the gym, for whatever reason that could be, you're busy, you have children, you have a wife, I don't know, you don't have a ton of time to spend in the gym. Most people waste a lot of times in the warm-ups. So that's my little routine you just saw. Put my shoes on, do 1 set of 5, thumbs around, so my shoulders don't have to be opened up just yet. Hang from the pull-up bar a little bit, do a horn stretch. We have a whole video on that, you can go check it out. And then do another set of 5, do another horn stretch, and then start loading the bar. I like to get through 2 loaded sets really before I take a second. In this setting, we're vlogging, so I'm talking to you. Usually I just sit and probably play on my phone or something, but take advantage of your warm-up time. Make your warm-up time have a purpose so that you can sit in between work sets and actually rest and recover, and your workout still not take tons and tons of time. Okay, as far as training goes, I'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff I did while I was activated and deployed last year, some of the PRs I hit. That's right, I hit some PRs, which was super excited about, but I also mainly just like limped my strength along, kept some type of a baseline. But today, here it is, April, I got back in late November. In April, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm caught up enough. My daughter knows me. My wife remembers who I am. I've made all my angry customers happy. Thanks to all of you, by the way, for buying plates while I was gone. Really appreciate it. I can get back to my own training and make it a priority. So we're gonna do 5x5 squats today. So I'm about to do 315. I'm gonna do 5x5 at 350 today. In general, over the last year or so, I have not missed my training sessions. I've squatted at least twice a week, except in times when I was out shooting artillery and there was no access to a gym. If there was access to a gym, there was never a comfort-based decision made. I would squat twice a week. I usually do 3 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 5, a lot of 3 sets of 5 on day 1. I'm generally a 5x5 guy on day 1. But due to time constraints and different things, I've done a lot of 3 sets of 5, especially since I've been back. When I was on ship on the USS San Diego, I actually had plenty of time to train. I did a lot of my 5x5s there. In Okinawa, Japan, a lot of 5x5s. Since I've been back, I've been short for time. So I've been doing 3x5s generally on the first day. Sometimes 5x5s if I have time, or I'll do like an ascending trick. I think we have a video on that as well, where you go up, hit a top set, and then you hit some 5s on the way back down. But I want to get back to 5x5 straight across. Think 5x5 straight across. There's no better program to get your squat to go up. And then the second day that I squat, I do an intensity squat, meaning it's heavy. And that has range. I haven't made nutrition a priority since I've returned. I haven't made sleep a priority since I've returned. And so I'm not an RPE guy, but I have gone a good bit off of feel on that intensity day. So the heaviest I've done lately entering this new program is I did 425 for a double on the squat and 535 for a triple on the deadlift. We'll talk more about the bench and the press later. Putting my belt on now because it's my last warm up, because we're gonna do 350 today. I don't like to enter my work sets with a new variable, even if I've been training for a long time.
West Texas is the best Texas from the panhandle to the trenches. My face and my stack full of stars out in
Okay, last one's complete, bar loaded. Said it before, I'm a big fan of timers in the gym. This is just a kitchen timer. You can use your phone. Some people, the phone becomes a trap. Even if they have the timer on, they get sucked into Instagram watching me on X or YouTube. Haha. Actually, like and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe. I forgot to say that at the beginning. PGA, put like and subscribe at the beginning of the video and they'll be like, that was weird. And then now they'll get it if they made it this long. But use timers to keep you honest with your timing. Okay, quick, I got 90 seconds before it goes off. Quick little rant on periods of training in your life. You will have good periods of training where you have adequate time to run a hard and effective program. And then generally, you will have periods of your life where you feel like you have zero time to go to the gym. None, zilch. I can't go. That is toddler at home. That is wife sick. That is business exploding. That is job crazy. That is I'm tired, whatever it is, and it'll feel like you have no time. Those are actually the most important times to go in and train. And that sounds very cliche, but the reason why is if you can limp your strength along, and this is assuming you've run the starting strength novice linear progression. This is assuming that you've built up your base, as we call it, a base of strength. But if you have gotten strong, then you can come in and spend very little time in the gym and maintain your strength. I mean, very little time. My training since I've returned in November has been 3 days a week for about 50 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes as little as 30 minutes, and just 3 times a day, 3 times a day, 3 times a week, just 3 times a week. Often, like I said, come in, squat 3 sets of 5, press 3-4 sets of 5, leave. Come in day 2, deadlift and bench, leave, right? But if you're strong and you have that base and you can commit to the frequency, then you maintain your strength. Talk about it after my first set.
No, thank you, please. Just like Houston, Texas. Well, it used to be Texas, but it's just a big old spur on the food of Louisiana. 7 million people breathing in that salty air. It's too damn hot, too damn humid, too damn crowded there. Don't get me wrong, it's just a song, don't take it to heart. We love all the Texans.
Okay, I got about 90 seconds left of my timer. Doing 4 minutes rest in between these sets on my 5x5. 5x5 squats, super useful. Then I'll do a 5x5 pressing exercise with it. Today will be the overhead press. Friday will be an intensity day squat. This is basically like a dialed down Texas method that I'm going to run, which isn't much different from what I've run, even when you're running like a lighter program, not light in weight, but lighter in time. It's the same kind of concept, squatting twice a week on the alternate or on the outside days of the week, deadlifting in the middle. The difference is the volume. And so if you're short on time, you take that down to 3 sets of 5, maybe for the squat, for the press, for the bench press, whatever. Less back offs maybe in the deadlift because you're short on time. But it's the same concept, the general intermediate program that I like to run. I need to pull up my little slideshow on it and go into depth. I will. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'm not going to do it right now while I'm out of breath, but that is the concept. All right, set 2.
All these people going to heaven, they're just sitting on the way. I'm gonna holler and I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna give it some mescaline.
Okay, so I've talked a lot of the downside of my training the last year, 18 months, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk some of the upsides. Well, I was activated deployed last year. I had a lifting partner, like a true lifting partner. For the first time in a long time, I generally lift in the Strength Co. I actually have one now since I've gotten back, but generally I come in, lift with all kind of different folks, or I train alone. It's just kind of how it usually works out. But while I was gone and deployed, had three guys really that I lifted with all the time. Obviously was coaching them through the starting strength method. Some of them listened really well, some of them didn't. I trained a lot of Marines in general on the starting strength method and got them lifting that way. But I had two lifting partners. It was fun to have a lifting partner, and it was fun to see kind of new heights by those guys reach and me along with it. I deadlifted 585, which I have failed a lot of times in the past. I did it on ship while underway somewhere off the coast to like Papua New Guinea. So that was pretty cool down on the well deck. That was a PR. I PR'd something else. Must not have been that important. I did like a rep PR, or I did maybe a ship PR. Everything's a ship PR, right? But no, I did do the deadlift. I failed that attempt at the deadlift for a long time. So there's some good blocks of training there. While underway, training, never missed, had plenty of time, trained really hard. I benched 370, which is like maybe 5 pounds off an all-time PR. Aggravated my shoulder a little bit doing that, so then I had to dial the bench back down, but I did bench really heavy. I squatted 485. So I got some like close to some of my all-time bests and beat it in the deadlift. And so it goes to show you during a time where you can give the time and also the eating and the resources and the sleeping, like I'm at sea. So I'm just crushing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm like 220 right now, which is a little heavy for me. 220, 225. I like to be around 210, 215. On ship, I went up to 230. Mass moves mass. Ripeto's milk thing works. I drank a lot of milk. And that's when I PR'd my deadlift. And that's just kind of how that works. And then the goal is you lean back out and you bring the body weight back down and you keep the strength. That's what I've always said.
Chasing some old voodoo dream. Dick broke on Whiskey River. Got me trying to swim upstream. Getting tired of going crazy. Headed back to Tennessee. I crawl out this river.
All right, 4-minute timer set. That's 3 sets 5. So going back to if you're short on time, what I've been doing is something like this, some weight relatively similar to this, somewhere between 350 and 380. Doing 3 sets 5, going on to my next lift. Takes me about 22 minutes to get through that. So it's possible, right? If you're trying and you're diligent and effective with your time. And that's like anything. You gotta be deliberate with what you're trying to accomplish if you need to make good use of time. So anyway, 2 more sets. All right, I'm rehashing a lot of stuff that we've covered in previous videos because I don't know when you started liking and subscribing to the channel. For all I know, you're new in the last year. But warming up a press while you squat is the oldest trick in the book. Commercial gyms usually becomes problematic because you're not allowed to have 2 squat racks. You're really allowed to have 1 squat rack. Home gyms, I get it, becomes expensive to own 2. But you could squat on the inside, maybe do something on the outside depending on your rack depth. If you got a home gym and you own some beautiful Strength Co, made in the USA, slim but rugged, smooth yet easy to grip, E-coated to look beautiful in your gym, go to gymradar.com, throw those things up there, build your gym and say, hey, I own Strength Co plates. With the #1 owned Strength Co plates on there. And you could do something as good for me as you want it and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have 1.25s at my work as coasters. People are gonna walk in my office, they're gonna be like, what is that? I'm gonna say it's a coaster. It's cast iron because I'm a weightlifter, but that'd be enough for you to get on Gym Radar.
Empties, Lord, as soon as I find where to lay. Tired of them jolly and leaving mines on a long hot summer day. And forever them working on the end, a half a day.
All right, set 5 of my 5x5s coming up. Always great when you finish your 5x5 squats for the week because you know you can do just about anything. Now, this is week 1 of a new program. I'm doing a 4 minutes rest. I clearly don't look like I have died and seen Jesus and come back, but it gets like that. It be like that when it's real heavy. So if you can do it on 4 minutes rest, enjoy that. It only gets worse. Okay, 5x5 squats complete. Gonna move on to the press. I'm gonna do 5x5 in the press. I'm actually gonna go a little bit lighter than I'm probably capable of. I'm gonna keep it at 185. I'm gonna try to go beltless, which means you have less something to brace against. And I'm not gonna do any of the starting strength 2.0 hip throw. I do like to do that. There's a time and place for that. But kind of early on in a program, I like to keep it on the press, kind of like real raw, if you will. I have a problem when I throw the hips of getting some knee bend, not to a part where it's advantageous to me, like a push press, but to a part that I actually have kind of like an energy leak or loss. So I'm just gonna try to keep it super strict. I'm gonna try to do them on 3 minutes rest. Let's go. Oh, I need some Tyler Childress.
Dark and gloom, and you don't know like I do. We took fire straight to her room, and got stone raging blind. Left my money in the trusting hands of them old steel brothers in a grass band. One day I'm gonna drive up there and give them half my mind.
Okay, so while I'm here, let me tell you about a little underrated Strength Coach product. This is the magnetic change plate storage peg. It's a magnet, sticks onto stuff, sticks on just about anything that you want. It's really strong and it can hold change plates. Let me give you a better view here. All right, so here you have the side of this rack. Throw it on there, 1.25, grab another, 1.25, whatever, holds up to 10 pounds. Put your plates on there, pretty nice. Also, if you use Strength Coach lever clamp collars and you don't like throwing them on the floor, they just clamp onto it perfectly. Whole thing will pop right off. Stick it wherever you want. Pretty great little piece of gear. I'm a huge fan. One of the things I really like about the strict press, no belt, no 2.0 Mark Ripito throw, link the video. We've done them before. Big fan of this. I don't teach it to, you get it? I don't teach it to people on their first time. I think it's more important for people to learn bar path and lockout right off the jump than it is to worry about the hip throw. Secondly, or the stretch reflex would be the proper term, not a throw. Secondly, I like the press is usually the first lift to stall on the starting strength novice linear progression. Has the longest kinetic chain, so lockout distance to where force is applied, the floor is the longest, right, than all the other lifts. It uses the least amount of muscle mass. It uses your entire body, which is one of the things starting strength that we're after, but a lot of your body, your core, and your legs are just bracing. Your shoulders and traps and triceps are doing the work to get the bar up. So it's less muscle weight or muscle mass. As a result, it's the first thing that lifters tend to fail. It's also very unforgiving form-wise. If you get the bar too far out in front of midfoot or your face as you would see the bar, then you'll miss the lift due to the fact that it's away from you. And so people fail and they get frustrated. So I like teach people how to strict press. They strict press. As their press starts to slow down or fail, then you can teach them the 2.0 and then they have success for a couple more weeks. I have a video coming out right after this one that'll be how to fix your press today. It'll be tips and tricks for literally how to fix your stuck press if you're a novice doing the starting strength program. So like, subscribe to the channel, make sure you can get to that one. But in general, I like to do strict and then teach 2.0 later. For me, why am I doing this right now? Grant, why are you strict pressing? When I throw the hips, I throw them really aggressive and there's a lot of action that happens in the bar, which I am after. But I tend to let the bar get in front of me. I have not trained my press very diligently in terms of trying to go really heavy in a while. The heaviest I've done in the last 12 months is like 225. My best ever is 260. But I've really just done a lot of work between 185 and 200. So I want to start my 5x5 days with the strict so I can focus on the bar path, focus on tight knees, and focus on using the traps to lock the bar out. A lot of people get stuck here and they give up when if they would just continue to fight the bar with their arms, if you will, and press, and also start to think of the shrug, then they could finish the lift. So anyway, something you can try and see if you like it. Yeah, pressing stuff. All right, let's give you some random highlights, fun facts from activation deployment, because I probably won't do a vlog for a while. I don't vlog very often. This is like maybe third floor vlog ever, to be quite honest with you, besides podcasting on the OK Podcast, which you should go check it out. It's funny. If you like lifting stuff, you like military stuff, and you like trash, you'd probably like it. But besides that, I hadn't gotten in front of the camera, done the thing, so I said, you know what? I'm going to kick off the Get Back to YouTube tour with a little vlog. But it was good. The unit I took was from New Jersey. I was a commander of an artillery battery. We went to 29 Palms, California. Guys from New Jersey, 229 Palms, California, did about a 3-month workout. Mid-April, left my wife and daughter, went to Okinawa, Japan. Sometime after that, got on a ship, floated all around kind of South China Sea area. It was called 31st MEU, went down to Australia, did some training, came back, hit Malaysia, a couple other countries, spent a lot of time in Japan or thereabouts, and then came back right before Thanksgiving, finished up the activation as a reserve major, which is what I am, into December. So the whole thing was about 11 months. And what I learned is when you come back, you left your family, there's a lot of stuff to fix there. You left, my brick and mortar gym, my online business, my manufacturing business. And so it's been really busy to get back and get on top of everything. But we're back on YouTube. It's been really fun. It was a really great experience, but I am glad to be back with my family. I appreciate everybody's support while we were gone, whether you ordered from us, whether you watched the videos, whether you watched the different stuff that we put out. We appreciate your support. If you have video ideas that you'd like, comment below. You can email us. You can go to the website. You can go wherever we are. Say, Grant, make a video about this. I always look at those and take them into consideration. Happy to make a video on whatever question you have. Hope this video helps. Get back in the gym. Time's not an excuse. Do 5x5s. They work really well. Train really hard. Don't be a wuss. Thanks. We'll see you next time.